Hello, in this video we're diving into using data loss prevention to detect and block sensitive information like credit card details, passport numbers, and more. So first, why might an organisation want to do this? Typically, organisations will host some kind of data that they don't want to leave the organisation. This could be because it's personal information that should only be accessed on a need-to-know basis, or it's secret information that, if leaked, could result in reputational damage or losing a competitive advantage. DLP policies allow you to prevent these kinds of information from accidentally being leaked inside or outside an organisation. I'll now show you how to create one of these policies using Microsoft Purview. On the home page, you'll need to click Solutions, select Data Loss Prevention, and then click Policies. You'll then need to click Create Policy. Make sure data stored in connected sources is selected. For the category, select Custom and then select Custom Policy. I'm going to name the policy Block Sensitive Information. In this example, I'm going to leave admin units as full directory. Make sure that Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, and Teams are the only selected locations. Click Next and then click Create Rule. I'm going to create two rules. The first rule I'll name Block Sensitive Information Rule 1. Click Add Condition and select Content Contains. Click Add and select Sensitive Information Types, and you'll see a long list of sensitive information types provided by Microsoft, as well as any custom ones you've created. I'm going to search for and select credit card number. I want the confidence level set to high. Lowering the confidence level can result in more false positives, thus triggering the policy for users when not always intending to. Always keep in mind that using high confidence can be subject to false negatives, which can result in data not being blocked when it should be. Please make sure to review your own confidence levels in line with your organization's requirements and risk tolerance. I'll leave the instance count as 1 to any. However, if you wanted the rule to trigger only when a particular count of the sensitive information is detected, you can tweak this option to your own preference. I'm going to now add an additional condition which is named Content is shared from Microsoft 365, and I'm going to select only with people outside my organization. So this rule is now going to trigger when a credit card number is detected and it is being emailed, messaged, or shared with someone outside the organization. I'll add an action and select the only available option, which is restrict access or encrypt the content in Microsoft 365 locations, and I'll select block only people outside your organization. I'm turning on user notifications and selecting notify users in Office 365 service with a policy tip or email notification. You have the ability to customize the email notification and policy tip, but in this example, I'm just going to use the default messages. You have the ability to enable user overrides. This capability will allow users to override the restriction, but we can request they provide a justification. I'm not going to select this for now, but I will in another rule. Lastly, we have the incident report section. This can be used to send email alerts to administrators and other individuals you select. You can email incident reports with additional details about why a policy match occurred. I'm now going to click Save. I'm going to add another rule and configure most of the same options. The only difference is I'm going to select IP address as the sensitive information type, and I'm going to allow user overrides but require a justification. Now that I've created the required rules, I'm going to click Next, and I'm going to select Turn on the policy immediately. Make sure when creating this in your own environment that you either run the policy in simulation mode or limit the user or SharePoint sites that the policy is going to target. I'll now click Next, and I'll click submit. The policy will now sync to the tenant, which can take up to 24 hours to take full effect. I've given that some time to sync, and it's now ready to demonstrate what it looks like from a user perspective. So let's look at a demo in Outlook first. So if I just go to my drafts here, we've got two examples. So we've got one that is using credit card numbers. So as we can see here, we can see the credit card number in the email, and we can see that it's going to an external recipient. So we can see that it's obviously triggered the policy, which is why it's showing the policy tip. So if I go to show details here, you'll notice that it provides a bit more information to see why it's actually triggered. Obviously, in our case, it's fairly obvious, but for some users that might be sharing information that's got a lot of text in it and it's not so obvious what is actually flagging the policy, this can be quite useful. Obviously here, if I click send, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a denied error there. So the sender's been blocked. Your organization won't allow this message to be sent until the sensitive information is removed. So this is the policy where we're actually blocking it and we're not providing the user with the ability to override. Now, if I go to another example that I've got here, which contains IP addresses, and we can see here again, this has triggered a policy, and we can see that it's going externally. And if I go to show details, again, it will show me what's actually triggered it. But you'll notice that I've actually got this override option here in the corner. So if I click this option, what it's going to do is it's then going to ask me to provide a justification for me to override the policy. You'll notice that there's a couple of out of the box options available, but also there's the option to select other justification as well, and users can input their own reason for why they're actually overriding it. For now, I am just going to select the My Manager approved sharing of this content, and I'm going to click override. And what you'll notice now that override option has actually got missing from the right hand corner. And if I was to click send on that, that would actually allow me to now send that email. Now let's head over to Microsoft Teams and just look at another example here. So again, I'm currently chatting with an external here, and what I'm going to do, I am going to copy this credit card information here, and I'm going to paste that into the chat, and I'm going to send it to that external recipient. Now, initially, it looks like I've been able to send it, but now we can see actually a few seconds later, we're getting a message that the message was blocked. So what can I do? That will then, it's going to provide us some more information here so we can see what blocked it. There was a policy triggered, those kind of things. So that's actually blocked that capability there. And if I just put in the IP addresses as well, so the chat and send those, you'll notice that they get blocked also. You'll notice there isn't an override option within Teams, so that's just something to bear in mind. The override option is only available within email, and there is also some capabilities within SharePoint and OneDrive as well. I'm now going to head over to the OneDrive account, and we can see that I've got some information here. Some files here that have credit card numbers and IP addresses, and you'll notice that they've got these little red icons over there, and if I hover over that, contains sensitive information. Some commands might not be available. So if I go to share the credit card number with this external user, so we're going to select that. And what you'll notice here is that this item contains sensitive information. It can't be shared with people outside the organization. If I go to view policy tip, you'll notice that there's no option for me to override or anything like that. It's not going to let me actually send that to that person. Now, if I try again with the IP addresses here, and I'm going to put that same email in, you'll notice that it's going to block that, and we can go view policy tip. The only difference that we have here is we've actually got the ability to override this. So if I click override and I'm going to submit a reason for this, I'll put in manager approved, and I click submit. And then we're just getting notified there. It may take a few minutes to override the policy. Please reopen the file and try sharing again later. So if I now give that a quick refresh, and you'll notice that that red icon's now gone. And if I was to share with that same user and I click send, that is now allowing me to send that information. Just going to wait and see. Yeah, so we can see that that's now actually invited that external person to view that content. So that's another example of how the override works. I personally feel that the override capability in Outlook is a bit more user-friendly. However, that gives you the ability to do it there. The other thing to note with SharePoint is that that's overriding it for every external, whereas with the email, obviously it's just that one time that you send the email that it allows you to override it. So I hope that was beneficial. That has been how to use data loss prevention to protect sensitive information using sensitive information types. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.